One last word. I believe we are bound together by providence and by grace. This fellowship is a work of grace. Our very existence is a testimony to providence. Our birth was a miracle. Our survival amidst brutal and sustained attacks against us is amazing. Our growth and influence within a few short years within the Baptist family and the broader Christian community is humbling. The resources that God's people continue to entrust in this fellowship is at times, to me, overwhelming. I recently had a respected Baptist leader outside of CBF say to me about CBF, "You will never know how many people have been saved because of what God has done through you." I know we're living in a recession. I know that we are living in a culture, both secular and in a popular Christian culture, that in many ways is hostile to what we believe. I know that many of you live and serve in very difficult and dangerous places, and that at times many of you feel very isolated and discouraged. I confess feeling that way at times myself. But I believe in the grace and providence of God working in us and working through us. Providence is that mystery of God's superintendence and grace unfolded in our individual as well as our collective life. Providence is God's ability to bring good out of bad, joy out of mourning, order out of chaos, beauty out of ashes. Providence is God's protection and provision to fulfill God's purposes. Providence is God's blessing us when we don't deserve it and God's guiding us even when we don't know it. Providence is the accomplishment of God's will at God's initiative, motivated by God's pure love. I've been in this fellowship long enough to see the evidence of grace and providence among us. And I see it unfolding still in many ways. I see it in the quality and in the character of mature missional leaders among us. There are a host of seasoned ministers and missionaries, pastors and staff members and chaplains, clergy and laity, male and female, whose commitment to the gospel is fresh. Their love for Christ is contagious. Their commitment to the kingdom expresses itself in remarkable ways. I see these tenured and seasoned Baptists living out their call with integrity, and I'm grateful to be bound together with them. I also see providence and grace working in younger missional leaders among us. I see a host of emerging leadership whose grasp of social issues and cultural trends is amazing. Their understanding of Scripture and their profound desire for authentic spirituality and ministry relevance is inspiring. Some of them are already serving as pastors and ministers and congregational leaders in local churches. Others are recent graduates from our partnering seminaries. Some others are in Current or in Passport or in Student.go or in Global Service Corps and all kinds of related ministries. Just this spring, CBF hosted a gathering of 45 Baptist theological students getting their PhD. Tonight at 10 p.m., there will be the first of many listening sessions for young Baptist lay people to talk about the future. I'm glad to be bound together with these. CBF is not bound together just by historical circumstance, by geography, or by cultural taste. We are a movement and a ministry of renewal which the Spirit of the living Christ is breathing. I see evidence of that breathing almost every day. I see a sacred weaving of relationships and decisions and circumstances and even failures into a beautiful tapestry that glorifies God. I see a richness and a beauty in churches, in communities, in ministries whose life is marked by faith, hope, and love. With a deep sense of gratitude, with a profound hope for our future, I can say and sing, through many dangers, toils, and snares, we have already come. 'Tis grace has brought us safe thus far, and grace will lead us home. Sing it with me, will you?